They say pain changes people, but in Selina's case, it shaped her into something the world wasn't ready for. Once upon a time, Selina believed in perfect endings, in promises, in people, but the belief shattered the night she stood outside a luxury penthouse in Midtown, soaked from the rain, mascara bleeding into the cracks of her broken heart, watching the man she loved kiss another woman in the very apartment they picked out together. That was 2 years ago. Now, she wears her scars like diamonds, quiet, sharp, and unmissable. Selina Morgan wasn't built in a day. She was built through betrayals, silence, rebuilding, and a million nights no one saw her cry. And this morning, she's walking into a boardroom she once served coffee in. Only this time, she's not holding a tray. She's holding the key to the entire company. And it's only the beginning. Selina sat at the door of the conference table. Power draped over her like silk. Every pair of eyes in the room followed her, some in awe, some in fear, especially his, Jason Wells. The same man who once told her she was too soft for the business world. The man she had once loved and the man who destroyed her. He looked like he'd seen a ghost, and in a way he had. Selina Morgan had returned, but not as the woman he broke. Now she was the youngest CEO in the company's history, and every word she spoke was a reminder that she no longer needed permission to exist. She didn't flinch. She didn't blink. She simply smiled and said, "Let's begin." And with that, the past sat quietly in the corner where it belonged. That evening, her phone buzzed. One message from Jason. "We need to talk." She stared at it, deleted it, and moved on. Selina wasn't interested in revisiting pain disguised as closure. She had bigger things to focus on, like the international deals on her decks, a deal that could place her company on a global map. And yet, that night, as she stood in front of her floor-to-ceiling window, the city lights shimmered below her. A quiet ache echoed in her chest. Not for him. For the version of herself she lost while trying to love someone who didn't deserve her. But Selina didn't mourn for long. She poured a glass of wine, opened her laptop, and went back to building her empire. The next morning, headlines exploded. Selina Morgan, the comeback no one saw coming. The article detailed her rise, her grit, her silence after the scandal, and her unexpected takeover of the company. Her assistant, Maya, read it loud with pride. "They are calling you the Ice Phoenix." Selina smiled. "Let them call me whatever they want. Just spell my name right." But behind her calm demeanor, Selina knew this was the only beginning. Power attracted enemies, and someone somewhere was already plotting her fall. At a private gala later that week, Selina walked in wearing midnight blue silk, the fabric clinging to her confidence. Whispers followed her. She ignored them until she came face to face with him again. Jason. He reached out, brushing her arm. "Selina, you look different." She met his gaze, steady and unreadable. "That's because I am." He chuckled nervously. "Can we talk?" "No," she said flatly, brushing past him. But what Jason didn't know was this. Selina hadn't come to the gala for appearance. She came to reclaim something, and it wasn't for him. At the center of the gala was the chairman of an old money tech empire, Mr. Laxon. Rumors said he was looking for someone bold enough to lead his next expansion. Selina approached him with grace and steel in her voice. They spoke for several minutes. At minute 8, he offered her a deal worth over $100 million. Everyone in the room watched as the handshake happened. And Jason? He stood frozen in the crowd, watching the woman he once doubted become the woman everyone wanted. Back at her penthouse, Selina stared at the deal paperwork. She thought of her mother, a single mom who worked 3 jobs and always told her, "Don't marry for money, be the money." Selina whispered into the silence, "I'm becoming everything you prayed I would be." Tears welled in her eyes, not out of weakness but gratitude. She wasn't just climbing anymore, she was creating her own mountain, and there was no summit in sight. The next challenge came fast, an anonymous threat, a leaked email, a possible betrayal within her team. Selina didn't panic, she investigated, and the truth shattered her. Her assistant, Maya, the one she trusted most, was the leak. Selina didn't yell, she didn't cry. She simply said, "Pack your things." Loyalty to her wasn't optional, and pain was part of the tuition of greatness. With the betrayal behind her, Selina doubled down. She worked 18-hour days, refused every distraction, and turned every setback into strategy. Soon, she launched a foundation, the Morgan Initiative, to support women in tech and businesses. Her mission wasn't just to rise, it was to lift others while rising. And people noticed she wasn't just a CEO anymore, she was a movement. But life had one more surprise. A letter arrived from her estranged father, the man who abandoned her as a child. It read, "I've watched you from afar. I'm sorry I left. I was afraid of who I wasn't. But watching who you became makes me proud beyond words." Selina stared at the letter. Then she burned it. She had no more space for people who only showed up once the spotlight came on. Her story wasn't built on apologies, it was built on unapologetic strength. The night before her company went public, Selina stood on a rooftop alone. The wind danced through her hair. The city below buzzed with possibilities. She whispered to the stars, "If you are watching, Mom, I made it." Her phone rang, her team cheering. The numbers were in. They made history. Selina Morgan, the girl once left outside in the rain, was now on every screen in Times Square. Tomorrow, she'll be on Forbes. Selina stood in front of a crowd of young women, delivering a keynote. "No one will hand you power," she said. "You take it, you build it, you bleed for it." The applause thundered and she smiled. Not because of the fame or the fortune. She smiled because every pain, every betrayal, every lonely night led her here to her throne, and this wasn't the end. This was just chapter 1. This story isn't just about Selina Morgan. It's about every woman who has ever been silenced, every woman who has ever doubted her worth because someone else couldn't see it. It's for that girl who was told she was too loud, too emotional, too ambitious, or not enough. It's for the woman who have learned how to cry in the bedroom, wipe their own tears, show up anyway. For the ones who've stayed in rooms they outgrew because they didn't want to make anyone uncomfortable. This is for the woman who have been taught to apologize for existing boldly, but not anymore, not today, not after this story. You don't have to wait for permission to become who you were or who you are meant to be. You don't need validation to rise. You can heal fully, deeply, and still be fierce. You can build, you can walk away, you can say no. You have the right to speak up, to fight for yourself, to leave the room, to build your own table, to shine without dimming for anyone. There is power in your voice, there is freedom in your truth, and there is greatness in your story. Even the messy one, the broken part. Don't bury it, don't shrink it, don't play small to fit in rooms that were never built for your light. The world doesn't need a quieter you, it needs a healed you, a whole you, a fearless you. So speak, build, rise, because you were never meant to just survive in this world. You were born to own it. If you like special story like this, hit the subscribe button and follow us for more stories like this. Bye.